There's a film that scandalized the world, not just because of what was on screen, but because of what happened behind the camera. A movie hailed as art, but condemned as abuse. And decades later, it still haunts cinema history. This is the true story of Last Tango in Paris, a film so explicit, so controversial, and so morally disturbing it was banned across the globe and left one actress scarred for life. Directed by the legendary Italian filmmaker Bernardo Bertolucci, and starring Marlon Brando, fresh off his Godfather fame, and Maria Schneider, a young French actress only 19 at the time. Last Tango in Paris was billed as a raw, emotional, unscripted exploration of sex and grief. Brando played a grieving American man in Paris. Schneider played a stranger. Their characters meet. They begin a disturbing, detached sexual affair, and it only gets darker from there. Paul, a middle-aged American hotel owner mourning the suicide of his wife Rosa, meets a young, engaged Parisian woman named Jean at an apartment that both are interested in renting. Paul takes the apartment after they begin an anonymous sexual relationship there. He insists that they not share any personal information, even given names, much to Jean's dismay. At one point in their relationship, he rapes her. Despite this, she tells him that she tries to leave him, but can't bring herself to do it. The affair of Paul and Jean continues for some time until Paul decides to leave Jean, after which she arrives at the apartment and finds that he is packed up and left without warning. After attending his wife's viewing, Paul meets Jean on the street and says he wants to renew the relationship. He tells her of the recent tragedy of his wife. As he tells his life story, they walk into a tango bar, where he continues telling her about himself. The loss of anonymity disillusions Jean about their relationship. She tells Paul she does not want to see him again. Paul, not wanting to let Jeannie go, chases her through the streets of Paris. While running, she continually yells at him to go away and tells him that their relationship is over. Despite her threats to call the police, he chases her all the way back to her building where she is living with her mother and forces his way into her apartment. He mocks her for running away from him, followed by him saying he loves her and wants to know her name. Jean takes a gun from a drawer. She tells Paul her name and shoots him. Paul staggers out onto the balcony, mortally wounded, and collapses. As Paul dies, Jean, dazed, mutters to herself that he was just a stranger who tried to rape her and she did not know who he was, as if in a rehearsal preparing herself for questioning by the police. The most infamous moment in the film wasn't in the script. It was the butter scene where Brando's character assaults Schneider's character using butter as a lubricant. Here's the disturbing truth. Maria Schneider was never told about the scene in advance. Brando and Bertolucci planned it without her. The idea was to capture her real reaction on camera. Years later, Schneider said, "I felt humiliated. I was crying real tears. I felt raped, emotionally, and by Marlon and Bertolucci." This revelation shattered the film's legacy, transforming it from erotic masterpiece into a symbol of exploitation. When the film was released in 1972, it was instantly banned or censored in Italy, where Bertolucci lost his civil rights for 5 years, Chile, Portugal, Singapore, and parts of Canada and the US, South Korea banned it for decades. It received an X rating in the US, and some theaters had to pull it after public protests. The explicit sex, nudity, and emotionally abusive scenes were just too much for most countries. And once the truth about the unsimulated scene came out, the backlash only got worse. Maria Schneider never fully recovered. She suffered from depression and drug addiction. She said the film ruined her life. Bertolucci, even late in life, said he didn't regret it, only that he didn't inform her. That confession sparked international outrage when it resurfaced in 2016. Today, Last Tango in Paris is studied in film schools for its bold cinematography and acting, but it's also a textbook example of what happens when art crosses the line into real harm. It's still banned in some countries, and its legacy is forever marked by betrayal, power imbalance, and broken trust. Last Tango in Paris isn't just a banned movie. It's a warning that even in the name of art, consent must never be ignored. If this shocked you, wait till you see the other films that were banned for even darker reasons. Follow or subscribe the channel because the stories they tried to erase we're digging up.